Welcome back to Double A FC. Manchester United, unfortunately, losing 3-1 to one of our big rivals, Arsenal, down at the Emirates. We're going to get into it. This is Tate Reviews. I've not told him that name, but hopefully he's not mad at it and he don't mind me calling this little show on the channel that. Obviously, I'm with the legend that is Andy Tate. Before we get into talking about the game, if it's your first time on the channel, maybe you're new, maybe you're not, smash a like on the video. That is always appreciated. And subscribe as well. New channel, quite small. So every subscriber becoming part of the team, becoming part of the Double A FC crew is massively appreciated for me anyway. So yeah, big up to you that are all involved. Yeah, Andy, okay. So luckily we've just come off a massive unfiltered podcast, probably the longest I've ever done anyway, since joining you on there with Saeed and Flawless. So I think that's probably settled us a little bit. I don't think the rage will be there as much as probably what it was at full time. You know, it's a tough one to take. We hate losing to Arsenal anyway. And, you know, we're both from that generation where, you know, the Premier League, they were our biggest rivals for a long time. So losing to them in any game is always tough. But losing it to them in that manner for me is quite, it's even a more bitter pill to swallow. So for you, how did you see the game, and how are you finding it going into this international break now as a United fan?
I think it's a tough pill to swallow today. Like, we should have got something out of the game. Definitely, like you say, we played good in patches, in bits, but to be robbed by a decision, like I say, when we've dug deep to get into that position, like I say, the VAR decision has basically robbed us, and like I say, there's no love. I've got no love for that. For the referee, Anthony Taylor. He's got previous with Casemiro.
Yep.
And the decision, basically, borderline, it was from even a camera angle. It's like you say, it just had a quick look at it. I think what happened at Wolves is coming back to bite us now. With like you say, with the previous, what happened at Tottenham as well. We didn't get a pen. And it's another decision where the VAR control room just looked the other way. And like you say, to get clicks tomorrow, it'll be said, oh, it's the right call. Like Gary Neville, like I say, it was saying it was onside. But I thought today we played well in bits. Like I say, we had a game plan. We stuck to it. We were dogged, defensive. We kept Arsenal to a minimum. One shot in the first half. And then he come on. As the last 15 minutes, they brought the big guns on. But it was still at it. I remember a great save from Unana as well.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just the lapses in concentration. Let's say you lose Martinez, you're bringing on Maguire. You got no choice to bring him on. You're bringing on Johnny Evans. Oh, my God, what are you doing? But all we had to do was see the game out. And let's say a point would have been, we've put that away record to bed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You could have a crap time at the top six, but if you do the business on the rest of the away games, you'd be all right this season. But the performance was there today, and it's something to take into the international break. It's just frustrating. It's very downhearting, and it's like, I was upset. I was really upset with VAR and angry. But to say we've talked with Saeed, and one of the longest podcasts we've ever been on. You know what I mean? Yeah. God, man, that's like, I think we deserve something today. Arsenal, nothing special.
Yeah, I tend to disagree, but we won't get into that now because I want to just hear your thoughts on the game. So, I mean, before the game, a lot of people thinking after the performances we've had, even Forest, we weren't great. You know, as soon as they scored their 2 goals, we were a lot better. But we ended up winning the game. Thought that's it now, we can kick on. And even before the game, we weren't given much hope. And Arsenal fans, if we play you here, we're gonna do you. As Arsenal fans always are. But for you, like you say, there was a game plan and the team stuck to it. Who was you impressed with the most in terms of up until obviously injury time? Because like you say, we were well in the game. Probably looked like we was getting away with a point. I'll talk to you a little bit about how I feel where we went wrong, and I'll get your opinion on that. But in the main, who really impressed you in the game today?
I thought Diego Dalot did well. He had Wan-Bissaka in his pocket. Really
Saka.
did.
Not Wan-Bissaka. Saka. It'd be worrying if he had Wan-Bissaka in his pocket.
The low had Saka in his pocket. Sorry, pardon. It's late, guys. It's late. But yeah, I think Delo played well today as well. And I say, for somebody as well, it's like Wan-Bissaka got a little bit rinsed today. Yeah. But I say Delo played well today as well. And I'm trying to think who else played well. Martinez in patches. Let's say it was a dogged, strengthened. You know what I mean? We limited Arsenal, but we limited ourselves as well at the same time. And both goals were reminiscent of the game from last season in January. If you look at the Rashford goal, if you look at the goal, like say, just carbon copies in the space of a few minutes. As soon as you score a goal, you say your concentration rate. The worst time thing you can do is score and you switch off.
Yes.
So I take comfort in the fact there was some good performances from individual players, like say Martinez, Wan-Bissaka, Delo, and even Højlund, who came on as well. So there's something there. Even Garnacho, a little bit of energy. Like it's good to see, and I take comfort in that. And I know we're going to be all right once we get our players back, injury wise. We're still going to have a good season.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I'm hoping so. I think you're a little bit more optimistic than me, but that's just because I'm feeling quite down still. I think after this result, it's a tough one to take. What I want to speak to you about, and you talk about the game last season, and the thing teams have to do is learn from past mistakes. And we made a mistake last season. We let them win in the last minute of the game, and it proved to be the point again today. And this is my real sticking point with this team: this weak mentality, this letting the heads drop. Yes, it's a tough decision to take on the Garnacho goal. Like I said to you on Saeed, the Sky replay we saw, he looks onside. The one he looks at VR, he looks offside. And it's why they're looking at different angles or why they're not looking at multiple angles. Maybe they did, but we didn't see that. All we saw is what VR may be looking at. From that point, and I said it to you again, like I said on Saeed, from that point when we didn't get that decision, for me, the heads went, and I said to myself, and my girlfriend was like, she won't vouch for me, she won't even remember. We're gonna lose. I just knew this team was going to lose in that moment, and it's okay playing 90 minutes, but the game hadn't finished. Is this always got until we sort this mentality problem out with this team and getting them to toughen up and be a bit stronger? Is this going to be a problem under Ten Hag, do you think, with this group of players, this weak mentality that we seem to have?
I would think it is in games of this magnitude, in the big games, a winning team gets through games like this. Like you say, you get a win or you get a draw. If we'd have got a draw today, it would have been positive, high fives and everything. You know what I mean? Come on, let's say even Ten Hag would have been like that. Well deserved that we've got a point now. We've come away and we can move on. And that was my, let's say, at half time, I was all for it. Say when it was the VAR disallowed it, I thought, right, okay, not happy. I say they didn't get a pen. It was overturned as well. I said, fine, draw, that's fine. But it's the way our weak mentality underbelly. It's like I say, it's in us. We've done it so many times.
Yeah.
We can't, let's say, if like say we bottled an FA Cup final and give City a treble, basically. Yeah. That was it. We sacrificed our heritage to let them equal us. And I say it's in this team to bottle it, double eight, and it's in this team to be winners. We've seen it. It's Jekyll and Hyde. It's better the devil, like say this team can win at home against the big teams. We've done it in Europe. We've done it last season. And it won't surprise me if we do it again this season. Yeah. I mean, anything between second and fifth is the target. We are not title material. And I don't know what say people, let's say, Sky will spin the narrative, we're behind City. Everyone's expectations are being realistic. We were never going for the title this season. No, it was about continuity and still getting the same sort of play. Like I say, anything we do, if we eclipse last season and get anything as bonus, I'll be more than happy with the season. More than happy. Retain the League Cup, top four, have a good run in the Champions League, maybe even get that FA Cup we should have won last season, give it away too easily. So yeah, I'd take anything this season. We'd say with the continuity and keeping it going from last season.
Yeah, I think for me as well, I think I've said it. You know, my expectations this season for Manchester United was to continue progressing in terms of getting another cup, showing well in the cup competitions, doing well in the Champions League. The group may prove a little bit too difficult, maybe for this team at this moment in its current form. But what you want in the league is to, we like you say, we know we're not going to win. This team's not going to win the league. We're not strong enough to win the league. But closing the gap on those two above us was what I wanted to see, that progression, like I say, under Ten Hag in the second season. After 4 games, we're in the exact same spot as we were last season. And we saw how well he managed to turn it around. Whether he can pull up them trees and work them miracles again is yet to be seen. Obviously, we're not going to touch on it, but it's worth noting. It's the international break. Before what's happened with Sancho, it was probably coming at the right time, which is mad to say after 4 games. But with the way he's playing, it gives Ten Hag a little bit of a breather to regroup, and the players that aren't going on international break, get them in, really hone in what he wants from this team now. Like you say, you've played well, you've took on board what I want you to do, you've shown up against a rival, but you've lost it at the end. Before the Sancho situation, do you think this international break was coming at a good time for us? Or do you still think it's coming at a good time for us?
I think it would have come in at a good time for us anyway. You know what I mean? It's just unfortunately the circumstances we've lost today. Because if we'd have got a point, you go into the international break, right? Okay, we're done. We're doing okay. We broke that away record. Like, we can move on. We've got a set of fixtures after the international break. No disrespect to them, which are winnable. We could go on you get a mini run, confidence starts building again. Because I remember last year we've lost our first 2. We won 4 on the spin. This weekend last year we were rinsing Arsenal at Old Trafford.
Yeah.
And Arsenal were crying about, you know, their goal was disallowed and we beat them 3-1. So like I say, what goes around comes around. So it's just about building confidence again. We've got a run of games now. We've got to say we've got Brighton, Burnley away. Get that away record going again. Get some 3 points on the road. We've got a double header with Crystal Palace, and I think we've got a couple of Champions League matches with Copenhagen, Bayern as well. So there's a target before the next international break. So I think we can get a nice little run going. 5, 6, 7 games, win 5 out of 6, get a draw. So and progress in the cups. Yeah, I'm all for that, mate. Like I say, continuing the progression. There'll be a reaction now from the players because the first, like I say, you watch Champa a bit, you know, because the way we've lost now, like I say, them players, like I say, it'll have to be drummed into them. This underbelly of being soft, a soft centre, like a Malteser. You know, as soon as you get inside, it's soft. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's just. If you cut out them mistakes, man, you'd be fine. You'll be fine in games this season. We'll get points on the road. We will. If you cut out them mistakes in the big games, like you say, we've lost, yes, to Tottenham. We've lost to Arsenal. But we can take heart out. The first half, I take heart from the first half at Tottenham. We should have got something.
Yeah.
I take heart from this performance. We should have got something.
Yeah.
They're the only positives to take. Now, if you keep at it, you'll get it right.
I agree. No, I agree. And I think I'll ask you this now. So obviously, I think where we are now is probably similar to where we were before the Liverpool game last season. And I think if you're Ten Hag, are you trying to draw inspiration from that? For me, before the Liverpool game, I was saying to everyone and whoever would have me on a stream or whatever, this will be so I know it's 3 games in, 4 games in, whatever it was. This is going to be our biggest game of the season now because this is our biggest rivals, the team me and you probably hate the most out of everyone, more than City and stuff. This is the game they need to show up now. And I think I was going to say it's only Brighton, but it's a team that's probably going to push us in the league for going for 5th place or for, the top 4, top 5. Does Ten Hag need to talk to these players now and say, listen, this game is similar to Liverpool for me. I think it's a home game. It's against a rival in terms of the league. We really need to put on a show. You really need to show up to this game and start to show that you're the players that were performing like this for me last season. Do you think that's what he needs to do?
Yeah, I do, because in the 3 games last season, we never turned up in any of them, and we got over the we got past them in a shootout, a very lucky shootout, and Brighton, and let's say, were fully deserved to do the double over us last season.
Yeah.
So I think now, this is parallel from last season. Yeah, we got, let's say, the teams who beaten us last season. We got, let's say, a few scores to settle. Right, a few wrongs, and all beat it. Let's say Brighton was we had unbeaten at home since Brighton. That was our only defeat. It's been over a year, and we, like I say, we got to keep this run going. Like I say, we only dropped. Was it drawn 2, lost 1 last season as well at Old Trafford? Yeah. So that's really good. But drew with Leeds, drew with Southampton. That's it. And we say, you really want to take this out and really put this to bed and carry on with this momentum at home. And just remember, Brighton, if anything comes out, they created this home fortress, and we got to keep that going.
Yeah, no, you're spot on. Quickly, we'll talk about the big man. It was really nice to see him come on, Højlund, make his first appearance for Manchester United, and in the cameo, he didn't score. He could have probably could have scored. I mean, for me, he looked every bit of the player that Manchester United haven't had for, I don't know, even glimpses of Cavani maybe, but he really looks. He really looks the business.
I've seen a bit of Harry Kane in there. I've seen a bit of Højlund, causing trouble.
Yeah.
Let's say that Arsenal lad. He got rinsed a few times and was a bit worried for 10, 15 minutes. Like you say, he was all right. So we're going to be good with him. I've seen his montage from last season. Is it 9 goals? Was it 15 assists? And he scored. What you say, injury free, he'll be fine. We've got one there for the future, and like I say, that's what we have to base our attack around. It. We should have got Harry Kane.
Well,
someone as well. I would have took that, because you got the Jedi, then you got the trainee, the apprentice, and you one's learning off the other. So even Casemiro today, like we talked about this before, you just grabbing hold of him like that. Yeah, and that's what I like to see. Come on, lad. You know what I mean? Yeah. And it's I say, the future's looking good. I would say he plays. He'll start Old Trafford in the next game. He will.
Yeah, that was my next question. Do you think he'll start against Brighton? But I think with them 2 extra weeks, I think he's joining up with Denmark. But I think that might help him bring on that match fitness. But for me, the most important thing is when a young player comes into the Premier League into one of the biggest games of our season and shows no fear and shows willingness and shows hunger and shows fight. And shows the main thing, he shows that he belongs on that stage. And that's what, for me, Højlund did. And that's really impressive. For me, I think, and I'll ask you on this one as well, I don't want to put the pressure on these players, but you think Amrabat starts on against Brighton, or do you think he's sort of slowly brought in? Do you think he's someone that needs to probably start the next game as well, or he'll go with Eriksen, Bruno and Casemiro again?
You know what? I would go with I would go fresh. I would go with Amrabat, and I would go with Højlund, because this is what, like you say, you can't keep delaying. We did it last year. I remember when Casemiro came in, McTominay is like, wow, McTominay woke up and he had 4 or 5 games when he was brilliant. So did Sancho. Whoa, yeah, don't play him yet. We won these 4 games on the spin, didn't we? Yeah. So it'd be just like that. But I do think, let's say, for all the hype and all the PR off the pitch, trying to positive it, they will play a part. Yeah. They're definitely going to be starters against Brighton, unless, like I say, something happens on international duty. I don't know, because you got the AFCON. I mean, let's say, is Amrabat playing for Morocco? Yeah, I don't know. African football.
Yeah, I think
so. I know Cameroon are playing, so there's a few qualifiers for the AFCON for January. So will he be playing? I say Højlund as well. So, but yeah, definitely Old Trafford will be bouncing with them. Like you say, they want to, like say, the crowd. Me and you will see them at Old Trafford next week. Definitely on the 15th.
100%, mate. Yeah, mate. Thank you so much for stopping by, having a chat with us. Enjoy the international break. A bit of time away from Manchester United, although I assume with the Sancho stuff, it's probably not going to go away too soon.
Well, you know what? I'm going to wash my hands of it. I'm going to the park midweek with my missus and my dog. I'm going to go walking in the countryside. So I don't want to know Sancho, man. Look, he shouldn't have said what he said, but you know what? I'm backing a manager like you. So if you'd have performed like you've been doing, like you say, like I said, cry me a fucking river. I heard it too many times. Fucking cry all you fucking want. Young man, a lot of money, too much time on his hands. Like you say, he's had trouble. That's why City got rid of him and Pep. He had trouble at Dortmund. Like you say, Southgate, Radnick, and now Ten Hag. No sympathy for him. So, like you say, Turkish window's open. Maybe he could be shipped out in the next fortnight. You don't know.
It's definitely an interesting one. Definitely one to keep an eye on. And again, thank you so much for spending a bit of time with me talking about the game. Hopefully, the next game against Brighton is a lot better for us. We'll be back with more Tate reviews after each game. Andy is gracefully giving his time to me. Subscribe to the channel if you're brand new here and you've enjoyed this. Got more content to come. Like the video as well. That's always appreciated. And I will see you on the next one.